Big opening day for Jason Statham's A Working Man, which is the biggest thing going on in culture right now. It's super important. You guys need to follow along here because this is sending a message to Hollywood, and it needs to be sent. We'll get into all of this in this video today, so please check this out. And I saw the movie last night, thought it was fun. I'll do a full review of the movie tomorrow on the channel, so make sure to stay tuned for this. Hit the like and subscribe button. Join us here as we talk about all things going on in the culture. Now, A Working Man is a unabashedly masculine alpha male movie about just taking justice in your own hands. You know, it's something like The Punisher. It's the type of thing that critics hate. And I'm gonna show you one of these reviews, which is just an anti-masculine review by a critic, just disguised as a movie review. It's very funny. Now, this is something that you don't see a lot in movies anymore. You get, The Beekeeper before, you get the John Wick movies, but there's not a lot of cool action movies for men anymore. I mean, they pretty much just killed the genre because of politics, and we all know this. Now, this movie beat Rachel Zegler's Snow White for the Friday box office totals. This is a shock to Disney, a shock for Amazon. They could not have imagined this because there's no way that this is overperforming for A Working Man and underperforming for Snow White in both instances. And it's really a cultural sea change because this is the type of thing that like audiences are just telling these companies, we've had enough. And so it's time for, of course, us to make a difference here. So if you've not gone and see this movie, please go and see it. Now, the box office race is here for the weekend. A Working Man edged out Snow White with a $5.6 million at the box office on Friday, which analysts are predicting are going to result in a $15.6 million opening overall. Box Office Theory predicted the movie would have a projected box office total of $13.4 million for the weekend, which is obviously since 15 is higher than 13, it's overperforming. It's actually overperforming their expectations by more than 16%. So fans were very excited to go see this film. Snow White was actually predicted to win the weekend originally. They had a prediction of a 17 million box office, but the film is underperforming. Friday only has 3.7 million as an opening. So if you look at this, 5.6 to 3.7, A Working Man beat Snow White by almost $2 million at the domestic box office. Huge. This is crazy. Now, I know it is week 2 for Snow White, but at the same time, Disney drop-off should not be this much week to week. Snow White should have that momentum going for it. The family saw it, said it was good. They're going to tell their friends about it, and it should have a pretty decent deal if it was a good film. And, we know exactly what happened. It underperformed week 1. People didn't want to see it. And now, of course, it's underperforming week 2 because people are saying it was a bad film on top of it. Absolutely crazy. So this is a drop-off of 68% for Snow White. This is huge. This is a steeper drop-off than almost anything we've ever seen from Disney. Dumbo was the record of this before with a 60% drop-off for the second weekend total. So people hate Rachel Zegler's Snow White. Surprise, surprise. But it's looking like A Working Man is something that people love. It's pretty interesting right here. So this is pretty interesting because The Working Man. Now the next comparison we got to make is with The Beekeeper, which is Jason Statham's 2024 film. That opened at a $16.3 million, and the movies look very similar. Of course they do. They've got the same director. They've got the same action genre. They got the same, of course, star in it. This is a Jason Statham movie. You know what you're going to get from this perspective. He's going to beat the crap out of people, right? And so this is very much on par. It's very close, 16.3 to 15.6. It's within the margin of error right there of being almost exactly the same, indistinguishable. Now, we are in a down economy from 2024. I mean, this is pretty obvious. People's numbers are penny pinching right now, and so going to the box office is actually more of an ask right now than it was at this point in 2024. So that's actually a pretty good sign. So in a down economy, it's pretty much doing on par with what The Beekeeper was. That means we have a success here for sure. Now, this was a budget of $40 million, and The Beekeeper's total box office, if it tracks and it stays similar, was $162 million. So this might maybe do $150 million around there at this juncture, and we'll see what the global box office looks like once it comes in over the weekend, and we'll see. And if it hits that, obviously having a 4x success on their investment is a huge win for Prime Video. Now they're already discussing doing more films like this, and of course that's what we'd want. And there's a lot to draw from here, and this is what I would love to talk to you about right now, because this movie is actually important because it's based on a novel series by Chuck Dixon. Now, Chuck Dixon is a guy who is a wonderful conservative. He's a good Christian guy. He's writing wonderful stuff. You might have known him from his work in comics on the Batman and the Punisher. And this film feels a lot like the Punisher, I got to tell you. If you like the Punisher, you're going to very much enjoy this. Now, this is a 12-book series. So what's interesting about this, and obviously what Hollywood finds interesting about it, or a 10-book series, I guess. I thought there were 12-book series. Oh, no, this is just a buy 10 items with one click. It is a 12-book series. Where is the actual series list? Levon Cade. There we go. See all formats in it. How come it's not clicking? Amazon, you're breaking on me while I'm trying to make a video. What's going on? Here we go. Okay, here we go. 12-book series. I was like, what's going on? They try to give you a package. So there's a lot to draw from here. Even if Jason Statham only wants to make 3 or 4 movies of this, then he could choose and pick and choose the best ones out of this entire series and do this. Now, this is a classic action sort of deal. And if you look at it, Chuck Dixon does something really cool and interesting in this that's going to make it so movies don't get stale when this happens too, which is awesome. When this goes through and they start reading through these for which ones they want to do next, every single one of these books, if you read them, is actually a different subgenre of action. So if you look at book 1 here, which is what the movie's based upon, you see this: the hunt for missing college students takes him into the heart of a vicious criminal conspiracy. His actions create a certain chain reaction that threatens all he holds dear. Right there. Book 2, a gang of vicious criminals make the world their hunting ground as they search for a cache of hundreds of millions in stolen currency. Their search brings them to a snowbound community in the dead of Maine's vicious winter. It's pretty cool right there. They could steal any car, any ride, any time. Too bad for them. They chose Levon's ride. So this is going to be a Fast and the Furious, what was the Keanu Reeves thriller with the cars, or not Keanu Reeves, Nicolas Cage. I forget what the gosh, why am I blanking on this? You'll tell me in the description below. But you can see that that each one of these kind of does a different action trope to it, which makes it really cool. FBI, ATF, Homeland Security, and police departments from 7 states are chasing Levon Cade and his daughter Mary. That's pretty neat right there too, right? And so as this goes along, there's a lot of different scenarios to put this in that make this different than a lot of action franchises, because a lot of action franchises just regurgitate the same plot kind of over and over and over again. It gets very stale very, very fast. Chuck Dixon did something masterful here and actually made Levon, however you pronounce it, go into different spots every single time. It's really, really cool. So I'll put the book for Levon's Trade in the description below so you guys can check that out. Usually I plug my own books. I'm an author as well, so if you want to support me, I've got my stuff there. But I definitely want people to check out this book and what Chuck Dixon's doing here. Like I said, this is a spot in the culture where I think it's very, very important to get Chuck Dixon recognition he deserves. He's one of the best writers ever out there. He's one of the most prolific comic writers of all time, if not the most prolific comic writer. And he's been blacklisted from the comic book industry for the last 20 years because of just being a conservative. Super nice guy. Super cool, and deserves a huge W here. And please share this video with your friends so that they know that this is an important thing. Because I keep on going, hey, I keep posting to X saying, hey, have you seen this yet? And I get a lot of, I'm never going to see anything from Hollywood. And it's like, okay, guys, this is an actual opportunity for change, because this is an actual writer who did something that's on our side, and you never see this kind of thing. And we need to actually make the push for this. So it's very, very important on this level. So Chuck Dixon actually responded about the box office results. He says winning. Very cool on that level. Next, you can see he posted this meme right here, which I'm going to use as my thumbnail. Pretty fun. Levon beat Snow White ticket sales. Can he win the weekend? It's up to you. Pretty fun stuff. Now, this is what's going on Rotten Tomatoes. Look at this. We've already got the critics lambasting it. Well, it's not really lambasting. 53 is actually not bad for just a men action movie, because the critics don't like that kind of thing. But look, the audience freaking loves it. It's almost sitting at 90% because they're just like, this was fun. And so if you go to a working man, you can see right here, Rotten Tomatoes. Here we go. You can see, like, look at this here. This guy right here from CBC Radio, reactionary on how it appeals to a certain kind of demographic. That's white males. That's what they're talking about right here. That's what this is about, who are very much rallying around a certain kind of masculinity. Yeah, look at that. This is a guy's rant about masculinity and not liking masculinity and not liking white males in particular, who wants to make this an anti-political cause right here. That's what's doing. An absurd actioner, like it's a bad thing. Statham, as expected, is good in this. The film does have trouble delivering the action goods. I didn't see that in this at all. But this is pretty interesting right here that they go on these political rants like this type of thing. Of course, with the CBC, Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, review on this, trying to do things on this level. It's exactly the opposite of what the audience thinks about this sort of thing, who's like, this is a lot of fun. Now, I'll do a full review of the movie tomorrow, so make sure to check this out, guys. Right now, it's beating Snow White. We need to rally. If you've not seen this film, go see it. Go tell your friends to see it. Super important stuff. This is our culture war battle of the weekend. I thank you guys for being here. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Let me know what you think about this. And I know I pronounced Levon wrong 50 times throughout the video. I'm sorry, but I just I have it stuck in my head as Levon, and I just can't get it out of my head, even though I know that's wrong. Whatever. I'm not a professional YouTuber. I'm a professional writer. Thank you guys for being here. Do check out Chuck Dixon's actual book here. I'll put that in the description below if you want to support my books as well. Really appreciate you guys for being here too. We'll be back soon.